Well, what's going on, guys? It's about 15 before 10 in the evening. It's still Thursday, the 27th of January, 2022. Well, since my other channel has been blocked out for about a week, I still need to get some of these videos out that I need to express regarding what's happening with me personally. Normally, I have tried, but on some occasions, I haven't been able to post on these particular channels in a hell of a long while, so I beg your indulgence on this one. Technical issues and technical difficulties, and not to mention human conditions and human issues, have put my other channel at risk. This channel, hopefully not. The closer it gets to a birthday and closer it gets to other anniversaries that are days or even a couple of weeks apart from each other, they have brought out more emotional um, expressions and more outbursts, or crying basically, than as usual. There are multiple triggers that I'm encountering left and right. The emotional triggers are putting me into an emotional headlock. It seems I'm squeezing out more air molecules out of my lungs than I actually have lingering around, and not to mention I'm getting more and more dehydrated because I have to keep filling up the damn tear ducts to keep pouring out. Speaking of which, hydration, hydration, hydration. Now, as for those who haven't been keeping track, I'll try to keep it short if I can. The other channel I had was regarding the 2 years of, or more than 2.5, about 3 years, of dealing with my brother's death back in 2018, and all the emotional baggage and everything else that was pouring out of me that changed my behaviors and my thought patterns into the most chaotic situations I have ever had the displeasure of dealing with. COVID kicked in and changed also my educational aspirations as well. I have been still an ongoing student over at AV College, um, going on about 6 years, 6 or 7 years. And COVID's put it on a 2 year hiatus, or just about a year and a half hiatus, for my campus to do online sessions all the time, which made the mental health of me personally, and all the videos were about was me personally, not me talking about other people going through the stuff. I'm making a personal journal about myself. It's all about me. It ain't about you, it's all about me. But if you identify with it, fine. If you don't identify with it, that's also fine. I'm not holding it against you. However, this particular biological nightmare that was unleashed upon us by something or someone, or maybe someone really doesn't like me in the fates or in the cosmos. Maybe that's it. Maybe they don't like me at all. Something I did to piss them off. Whatever the reason is. Um, it had made me into a blithering basket case on some occasions. Sleep deprived, worse than usual. The sleep apnea is getting worse. I still got a machine still barely pumping it out. The narcolepsy is the main thing regarding the sleep issues that's giving me more grief than anything else. The staggering amount of lack of sleep is having effect on my mental capabilities, not to mention physical capabilities as well. There had been a couple of semesters that I had to tell the provider, actually the professors at the college, of what the hell's been going on with me, because the stuff has been affecting me a great deal. Now, regarding insurance, I am still in the process of trying to get that set up so I can actually get my own self taken care of. Now, I had griped and grumbled about on the other channel of mine how I was trying to survive and how I didn't like the medical establishments for a hell of a long while, and I blamed them for everything. And I know it's my own issue, my own fault. Doesn't matter. Things happened to me in the first place. It wasn't my fault, and I still blame them. They're trying to help me out with pills, potions, lotions, notions that changes my biochemistry and not to mention my mental health to the point where I don't trust them anymore. When I go into a doctor's office, my blood pressure is going skyrocketing. They call it lab coat syndrome. I had to research and had to argue with them. No, you guys got me PTSD. Thank you very much. And it started when I was at the age of 4 years old having an open heart surgery. There was one time when they were trying to do an open cath on me, and they were supposed to be putting me under general anesthesia. Apparently, I woke up too soon in the procedure that they had wormed away into my veins, my venous system, and through the arteries to get to the way to the heart to find out what the hell was going on. And then when they found out what was going on in the heart, I guess that's when I woke up and freaked. I was like having a little metal band separate, keeping your arm down, and separating from you, or see what the hell is going on. And oh my God, that was just a nightmare. Because the next day, or was it that same day, I couldn't tell, that they had the main show, and I died 3 times, and I came back 3 times, and it scared the hell out of me ever since. And there was an incident when a pediatric cardiologist was trying to remove the staples out of my chest. I guess, besides the surgery stuff that I had, giving me the PTSD, the start of a damn thing, and then ended up with the boom, 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 boom. Get kicked out of heaven 3 times saying, John, it's not your damn problem when you stay down there. You know. Oh, imagine Bart and Homer Simpson having it at each other. Bart, you little maniac, will you stay down there already? It's not time for you to get up here. Hey, man, take it chill, Bill. I'm telling you, this is the second time. Ah, come on, I just want to party on you. That's it. You stay down there. You rotten kid, yeah. Well, not quite Homer Simpson's. Anyway, I could try making a joke at this point over here, but I still feel the ghosts of it. But that particular procedure that they had to do, there's a lot of surgical techniques out there that I am unfamiliar with. And one of which is in order to get your skin together and keep it together, they use staples on you. For other matters, they use glue. A wonderful world of medicine. How to scare the living crap out of you. They can use household stuff. No, specially made household stuff to put you to take care of you. But anyway, speaking of being taken care of, the cardiologist was using staple removers on me at the age of 4 years old. About 4 weeks or 5 weeks into the healing, and he decides to rip open the chest just to get the damn staples out. Ah, if I learned everything and anything under the sun concerning about how to curse out a doctor. Oh, Fink was his name, Burton Fink. And he became my cardiologist for several years. And we had never talked about the situation afterwards, growing up. He was quite. Ma was embarrassed as hell. And Burton Fink was shrugging his shoulders, saying he's under a lot of pain, Mrs. Shaw. The only way for him to get it out is to scream it out. And this does hurt, and unfortunately, I can't put him under. So he's got to go through this. every time I go into a doctor's office, it doesn't matter at what age, the blood pressure goes skyrocketing. It doesn't matter which doctor it is. It could be a head shrinker and my blood pressure is going skyrocketing because I know it's a medical place. And I've had it for a hell of a long time. I called it PTSD. I called it because the doctors and the shrinks I talked to didn't want to deal with that. Apparently, they don't want to have the insurance deal with that shit. I convinced them otherwise. But that's basically how the channel is. I mean, I'm telling about my story and how things are going after when my family was dying off one by one, including the three major people within the past 10 years have really made an impact in my life. They're gone. They're ashes. Two of them you see in the pictures right over my shoulder. My mother and my brother. The two most important people in my life. The other person I wish I had up there was another friend of mine. I got to get a picture of her. It matters to me. It matters a great deal to me. So, COVID kicked in. I'm talking about how I'm reacting. I'm telling people how the hell I'm dealing. I'm coping. And now, since it's face-to-face time at the college, now I'm dealing with other challenges that are stressing me out. I'm trying to start up a video on that one. A sequence of events on video and explanations and pictures and stuff that I'm hoping to get out shortly. My first time back at college as a student, face-to-face, dealing with the COVID nightmare. This is my own personal journal there. So hopefully when the other channel's up and operational, I'll post it over there and post it over here too. Because I just want to let people know what the hell is going on with me. I also want to let people know that because I'm borrowing this channel here of mine and using it as a secondary dump zone for my nervous and mental stuff, usually I'm posting other things on here, but this took precedent. Because of the grief and the PTSD and the depression, a lot of depression, a lot of triggers and doing the anxiety thing on me, it's been a nightmare. It's been a nightmare. As I said before about the narcolepsy, usually it's you're doing something or just staring off in space, and before you know it, you're sleeping and you wake up and you don't even know what the hell is going on. It's even worse is when you're driving. I hear. I don't drive, thank God. I walk. I take a bus. But it got profound when I was in my class. And I have to talk about that one in the other video, though. But it got profound several times. I mean, just incidents like that. That's what scared the hell out of me. And this is what I need to get the medical insurance going in March. That's when it gets activated, thank God. But I still have to talk about this. It's important. Because I don't know what the hell to do at this point. I've mistrusted doctors and shrinks like crazy all throughout my life. And this, I have to have their help. I have to have their help. There's no other way about it. There's no running away from this. I have to do what I've got to do. This situation of mine is going to drive me nuts. So, okay. What else is going on? Well, besides the anniversary of my mother's passing is coming up in February. She had two passings. One, it was on the 1st of February And then somehow she probably lingered in her body a little bit. And until the 19th is when finally her body decided, okay, that's it, I had enough. So she passed the ultimate, last, official, 2019. And it was hard. Dave and I were working on that one like crazy, of just trying to. We were trying to get used to the idea that she wasn't going to be with us anymore. We had to be taking care of more and more things for ourselves. We had to care. I mean, we had to look out for each other. It's even worse and worse when I can't even find the right words to talk about in a situation like this. It does. And I'm not comfortable with it. I'm not comfortable with it because it puts me in a disadvantage. I used to think tactically. I used to think logically. I used to think. And then when Ma died, the world shook. My barriers started to break down left and right in my head. I couldn't think and feel straight. My brother kept telling me that I already had PTSD from a workers' comp accident I had several years ago. It still affects me to this day. So I'm already screwed up right now as it is. Next. Oh, Lord. I had to become a caregiver for my brother when my brother's health took a dive. I had to take care of him. We actually had a mobile home at one time, large one. Took a lot of our stuff, including the property. Took a lot of our stuff, but we got scammed out of it somehow, and we went through the court system, got kicked out. Was given a little bit of time, but we couldn't, and we couldn't sell our stuff for anything. So we got homeless. We lost a lot of our stuff. We tried to salvage as much as we could in a storage room. In a storage place, we couldn't keep up with the payments on that one, and we lost that. So a lot of our stuff gone. I talked about that in some of my other videos previously. It still hurts me and it still haunts me to this day. Certain actions my brother was taking concerning about his own love life was affecting us too much in different areas. It got to the point where after he died, I was still cleaning up that particular mess and had to shut everything else down compared to this leech. And I had to start focusing more about me. A friend of mine died also, who was a surrogate mother to our family. A best friend of ours and her family. Wonderful people. Haven't heard from them in a hell of a long while, and I'm hoping they're all right. Because I miss them a great deal. They're like brothers and sisters to me. And that takes out another support mechanism right there. That just takes out my support. Just for sanity right there. So when my brother decides to take a dive, and this happened in September of 2018. Mao was in 2013. That changed my life to the worst. I was operating on automatic, and I thought I was operating on automatic, but I really had to put myself into a robot mode while feeling the stress and pressure trying to burst through my damn chest. I had to take care of some rent issues. I had to take care of some bed bug issues. I had to take care of the schooling issues I still had, and I was still going to school at the time. And my grades are still up there. I mean, they weren't crashing and burning. They were just getting up there slowly but surely, getting into a C average. and that was all right with me. I got no complaints over it. The complaints I do have is the toll that's been taken over me for the past nearly 4 years at this point, since the passage of my brother. Because he was the last best one I had in my life. And I cared for him, and he cared for me, and we both did what we could for each other. I was also caregiver to Ma, but I was the backup. Dave was doing most of the work, and he was disabled. So when he left, and the hardest damn thing was getting his ashes back. And not to mention some of them in a damn pendant, because it told me that this was it, finality. And I had to work on automatic survival at that point over here. And it's not that easy working on survival at this point, especially when sometimes you just want to break down and you have to function and survive. There had been times about a year or two after his death, even during this biological nightmare that isolated us in more ways than one, had put me into an emotional straitjacket. And I can't, I'm having a hard time dealing with it even to this day. I have a hard time trying to talk about it. I have to keep doing these recordings. I have to keep doing these videos. It's a way for me to keep my damn sanity going until I actually talk to another healthcare professional about this damn shit. Because I don't know what else to say or do at this point. I can't afford a doctor right now. It's out of pocket until I actually go and see a quack under medical insurance. Then I got to be willing enough to deal with the quacks. See, there was also another incident happened in my life that still puts a doubt in my head. Sometimes doctors don't have all the information necessary from the pharmaceuticals when they're giving out their medications, especially when it's a new one that they really hadn't done their research on. See, back about 25 years ago, no, 30 or 35 years ago, that family doctor I trusted gave me acne medication. It was supposed to clear up the skin. And it was a wonder drug. It did. But it did a lot of damage to the neurals, to the point where there was fat deposits floating around in there, screwing around with the whatever my memory cells are. And I was becoming suicidal. And I was suffering through mental health, and nobody picked up on the damn thing. Not the doctors, not my family. So it's another scary thing right there to deal with. After that, when I was taking a psych class finally in college, decades later, and I did some research about the drug, and I pulled up some interesting information about it. And the manufacturing company for them didn't do all the work necessary to provide and prove that their medication was safe enough for acne when it was originally marketed for cancer drugs. They had to pull it off because there was people dying on them left and right. It was being reported left and right when they finally were actually able to report the damn stuff. I was going through the 90s, actually about the 80s with this damn crap. They just came out with it in the late 80s, early 90s, somewhere in that time zone. And I was about to suffer through it. Well, I hadn't been to a doctor's in a long time. except for the workers' comp situation. In order to get rid of a damn back pain, they'd give you some drugs, even some strong non-narcotic, but it's still enough to screw up your brain. Take only as needed, and only if you really need it. Otherwise, it's hooking. Tramadol and Motrin, in my own biochemistry, is just as bad as taking Vicodin. I've taken both. That's all I can say about that one. No way. I'm not dealing with that damn euphoria all over again. So the anniversary for my mother's death is coming up in February. Gets even worse is when I'm reminded of how old I'm getting each year. Because pretty shortly I'm going to be celebrating another milestone in my life. You know, you do it yourself. It's called a birthday. People screaming, "Happy birthday! Happy birthday!" Oh, son of a bitch. Leave me alone. Leave me alone, please. I turned big double nickel last year. I've got another, I don't know, short time before I end the double nickel. Now I get to do the 5-6. Don't ask me. Don't even push that one on there. I've been dealing with a lot of other issues concerning about how to look at what's left of my life and whether or not I've made the right choices in my life. I've looked at my apartment and I've got a bunch of junk in here. I'm going to have to start doing an inventory of everything. Stuff that needs to be tossed and stuff that needs to be kept for a time. Because I may be doing a last will and testament. But I don't want to keep psyching myself in this damn shit. I like to still think that maybe there's some logical reason I'm still alive at this point over here. But there had been something my brother had told me that scared the fuck out of me. I'm like, thanks a lot, schmuck. He told me about the Cameron curse. I can't prove this damn thing on the internet. I mean, I tried to research it. There's no official thing for the quote-unquote Cameron curse. The Cameron curse goes like this. For a certain Cameron line that we've got, and I'm not quite sure which particular clan I belong to. My middle name is Cameron. I am part of the generations of the Camerons, even though I am removed somehow. But I still have the blood of the Camerons in me. Any and all of the blood Camerons that we had in our clan have been dying off after the age of 60, and that included my brother. And this was supposed to be affecting the males. The females could live about 60, 70, 80 years. They're no problem. No, the males had to die off early. Every one of my uncles, regardless of if it was either a suicide attempt, cancer, organ malfunction, any other kind of medical or nervous and medical conditions that they had, they're croaking. My brother panicked. My brother was reminded that he had two bloodlines going in his system. He hoped that one of them was a primary. He was wrong. Right after he turned 60, just after he turned 60, he started getting transischemic attacks in his head. took away a little bit of him every single day. And he barely talked and barely walked. September 8th was his last. And I guess he proved about the Cameron curse being stronger than anything about a Shaw bloodline. So now I've got the Weaver, but I also got the Cameron bloodline in me too. That means I got a few years left. But if I still stick with this particular situation over here, I'm probably going to be dead before then. But if I'm not going to be dead before then, it'll be a bloody miracle from God Almighty. Maybe the Weaver line is a lot more stronger than the damn Cameron line, I hope. I still have to make sure that my life is going to be lived worthwhile. And during this type of season right now, normally if the family was still alive, I'd be celebrating it and dealing with other things. No problem, right? Between September and February is the season I hate the most, because that is the beginning and the ending of a miserable time of my life. I could take school and struggle and still try to pass it. Afterwards, I could still struggle and try to pass school, and it's still a pain in the ass. But the thing is, the school is still a struggle, and I'm not giving it up. A long time ago, I screwed up 2.5 years. And my mother gave me options. Since the GPA was so damn low, the school was going to put me out for a year. And my mother said, "You work your ass off for full time, or else you get out of the house." And I worked my ass off for full time in a lot of jobs for 30 plus years, and kicked my ass off ever since. Taken a few trade schools, got a few trade things going, helped somewhat, but none of it actually took the place of academia, where you're walking around on a campus and you're dealing with students dealing with their own academia issues, and you walk into the realm of the professors who think they're gods or something like that. But they have the information necessary to give you. All you gotta do is sit down, listen, and take notes, and then study like hard, take their written tests, pass them. Then, up to a certain point, you graduate. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm getting there, and I'm trying to enjoy the journey. I'm trying to store as much memories as I possibly can. This particular season has been challenging, even it's worse enough. When the campus was going through reconstruction, certain buildings over at Antelope Valley College in Lancaster are getting plowed under and then reconstructed into different, well, what can I say, ugly shapes, because of the lack of technology. I mean, they were still running on like 1990s technology and not 21st technology. So they needed all the hookups for that. They needed to look at modern. I keep looking at one of the buildings that I'm taking a class in as an open target for something. Mother Nature with her earthquake standards. I'm like, all she's got to do is rip open a little bit with the San Andreas or with the Gorlick fault line, and then our campus is going to be foobar in certain buildings, especially the one I keep looking at, and the one I'm taking class in right now. It scares the hell out of me. They call it Sage Hall. Now, if you go online and check this, what the Sage Hall looks like, you'll see how ugly the damn thing's at. But no, the campus guys love it. But it's up to speed for 21st century technology. Go figure. I couldn't do it today because the anniversary and everything else for the emotional side is still kicking my ass. So I'm still trying to deal. I'm still trying to cope. But for the most part, this weekend, we'll see what happens. I'm going to lay down, sleep if I can, and hope that I don't screw this damn thing up. So this is the start of a few videos up until the week's ending, and then I'll let you know what's going on afterwards. Till then, guys.